Happy Festivus, everybody. We got a lot to recap today. Rams beating the Jets, the Fashanu injury, Rodgers saying he's going to take a pay cut, Garrett Wilson possibly wanting a trade at the end of the year, the Athletic article recap, Jets Bills preview, and then we're going to air our bleeping grievances.
Hey, New York Jet fans from all around the world. Welcome to Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast. The show that delivers you all your Jets content. Here are your hosts, John, Adam, and Monty. All the best to the New York Jet fans. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 go Jets.
All right, it's Festivus. And just so you know, Adnan is feeling very under the weather.
Everyone is.
Yeah, he's feeling a little bitch. Too many shots or some shit like that. I'm gonna go there with that.
How did I know that's what you were gonna say?
Yeah,
because I said it before when we were getting ready for this, and I said it to Adnan before too. But whatever. Man, it was fucking cold on Sunday, and the
thank
Jets.
God we didn't go.
And the Jets jetted, man. That was really fucking bad. I mean, it looked like the way the game started, right? 99-yard drive, right? You were like, oh shit, we're gonna fucking blow them out, right?
Nope.
And then we missed the extra point, which is so Jets and so the beginning of the downfall of this fucking game.
Yep.
Right? And here's a fucking crazy stat of the day about this New York Jets team, which already pulled one hell of a stat on the Patriots game where they had like plus, 300 yards of offense or whatever bullshit, no turnovers, touchdowns, right? Gave up less than X amount and still lost, right? And that was like the first time in like 160 games that had ever occurred. But here's the crazier stat of the day. The Jets never punted and scored less than 10 points. It's the first time since 1940 that has happened. And what's crazy is they didn't have that many turnovers, just the fumble by Rodgers, and when he was like hanging around for too long, and then the fucking punt return, muff return, which would have gotten us the ball back, which is just fucking amazing, dude. It's just like, what happened? Somebody.
It's the goddamn Jets. That's what happened. Listen, it's every week with this shit, right? And so the thing is like you can't pin it down to one thing. It isn't just one thing. It is a poorly assembled team that is bad in some areas and completely undisciplined, extremely poorly coached. And then that just finds different ways to manifest itself every week. And that's pretty much what's going on. I mean, listen, every week we just find something to just be like not just bad, like record-settingly atrocious, you know, like I don't think we have the Rams didn't have a single tackle for loss against them by us, and they didn't have a single sack either. So they didn't go backwards.
Sack fumble.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fumble, but they didn't lose any
didn't
yards.
Count as a sack because he was kind of scrambling, but it really,
Right, and you know, and it's like we can't even get shit that like other teams, like, you know, if this was Miami playing in 23-degree weather, like maybe Tua might have not been himself, but you know, this is the coldest game that Matt Stafford has ever played in his career, and it was just like no big deal. You know, like we can't even get like
and West Coast going East Coast on top of that.
Right, exactly. So they came over from the West to the East. You know, time difference, no problem. You know, just everything, just, you know, and it wasn't like they had a great game. Like if you look at their game plan, very, very vanilla game plan. Didn't like blitz a ton. They gave the Jets a lot underneath. A lot of like on the offensively, you know, they were throwing a lot of screen passes. They were just a very basic, running football. I mean, what Kyron Williams have? 122 yards,
5 yards a toe,
125 yards. So it's actually kind of embarrassing for the Jets because the most important games for the Rams coming up are going to be the two divisional games that they end their season with. This game, obviously, every win counts, especially when you're trying to make the playoffs. But like this game was the least important of the games left on their schedule. And you could tell, they didn't bring out any of their crazy, flashy. They didn't have to do any trick plays. They didn't have to do anything crazy. They just literally what they did is they're like, McVay realized the Jets are going to beat themselves. If we give them a long enough drive, they cannot string together a 10-plus play drive without some kind of a tragic fuck up, be it a penalty or not calling a timeout at the right time, or giving up a sack at a crucial moment, or someone drops a pass or drops multiple passes.
Zard drops so many balls.
It is awful. Yeah, pack him up, get him out of here. He's done. No more of him. I can't stand his goofy ass. Like I'm done with that goofball. He leads the league in drops by a drop percentage, and it's like not even close. It's not even close. So we don't need that on this team. And maybe we were right to try to get rid of him for Jerry Jeudy, but apparently his Madden rating wasn't good enough. So
you think Rodgers rating was actually it's probably like in the low 70s, right? Going into the year.
Who Lazard?
Yeah.
I could not put after last year, I could not put Lazard's rating in the 70s. He'd have to be like a 69, 68, something like that going into the season. I could not, in Madden, like if you're 72, you're actually like okay. you're okay. You can make some plays in Madden with the 72 overall.
It correlates to like the PFF rating, kind of, sort of.
Right. Yeah. It's actually not too far off. So like, people get on them using the video game, but like those guys actually do a lot of work to try to evaluate players to give them those ratings, and the players themselves look into that like quite a bit too. Like they, obviously because it's themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be touted.
I'll say one thing about the Madden ratings, just to kind of drop it real quick before we get back into it with fucking Woody later. But like, it does give a lot of bias towards seasoned vets. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it really does. Like the young, like, you know what I mean? It takes a while for someone to really climb if they're new, right? Like Bijan, like took fucking forever. Even Saquon took fucking forever.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a new player, you're gonna be like, you're a new player, you're gonna, if you got to be like, freaking Justin Jefferson good as a new player to crack 90. You're not gonna crack 90.
Sauce wasn't even that high up, I believe. Like even like, you know what I mean, going into the year. Like,
I'm sure his first year was probably an 80 something.
No, but after the second year, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I didn't check. I didn't buy it that. Yeah, I don't buy it.
I don't buy Madden anyway. I don't play video games. I play guitar. And I do stupid podcasts.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Adnan says, you've been kind of quiet. What the fuck do you want to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, look, going back to the Rams, I think it's just, it's a function, like Monty said, it's a little bit of everything, but I think more so it's just bad coaching, right? And there are just these stupid things. At the end of the day, it didn't matter, but why Xavier Gibson is still on this team, let alone returning punts, right? Like all these little stupid things. It's like, your season is over. Try some new players, right? Get Corley in the goddamn game. Stop telling us that he's,
not ready,
maturing. He's not ready, right? Put him back there. Like, it's just so stupid that they're doing the same shit over and over.
How bad can he be, man?
No, I agree. And I think, like, you look at Ulbrich, I mean, man, is this one of the worst all-time interim coaching jobs?
Oh, for sure.
This guy, he may never get another chance again.
Yeah.
So I think like all of these things, it's disappointing, but also to be expected, right? So
did you see Sabo's breakdown of how bad the coaching was at the end of the game?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Okay, so Robbie Sabo from Jets X Factor, he does
great, by the way.
He's great. He's one of our draft picks in our little media draft thing. But basically, he was showing like the one play that was like bananas fucking stupid. After the Rams bailed you out with like the Kyrie Williams tossing the football at Sherwood or wherever it was, right? And it was like 3rd and 20 something, right? And they were like kind of out of field goal range. A normal day would be a long field goal, but obviously on that day it would have been fucking ridiculous, right? And obviously on a normal 3rd down where field goal is okay and you just don't want to give up a 1st down, you go to like cover 4 or cover 3 or something like that, right? They go in cover 4, which is just fucking stupid because you really got to play it tight, right?
Right.
Because essentially, like, if you give up a decent chunk, they get a decent field goal opportunity, even under bad conditions, But the kid's got a fucking leg, right? And it's just fucking bananas that it would be cover 4, and like Quincy would have to be like basically in dead open space to get the fucking Kyron Williams who peels out, right? Which is just there's just so many little fucking stupid things. How about going for it on 4th down the first time? Mm-hmm. Right? Remember that 4th down? It was like on our 30 something.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was like that was a huge momentum shifter.
Yeah, or just consistently terrible clock management. Like, how about before that 2-minute warning, like not taking the time out there? Like there's just so much, and then even Aaron Rodgers is like, are we going to take a timeout here? Like you see him like motioning to the side, nothing gets done, and then what happens? Max fucking goofy ass Mitchell, false start, get jacked back another 5 yards. Guy misses the kick, the most Jets shit ever.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? And we'll get into the next topic in a little bit because, like, I mean, there was injuries all over the place, right? Sauce came out for a little bit, right? We had no Quinnen, obviously, which hurt the non-existent run defense as it is. But they gotta get Mason Graham in the draft if they don't draft quarterback. Mason, that's the Michigan kid. Like that would just be fucking great. But like, my God, though, like it's just. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't go to this fucking game either. I mean, maybe we'll go to the Dolphin. Yeah, we should probably go to the Dolphin game. That's my last game of these tickets, right?
Yeah.
Somehow I sold the tickets, though. Every ticket.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I mean, honestly, I saw a bunch of people like posting like, "Oh, I'm going to my first Jets game." I'm like, you probably got those tickets dirt ass cheap because it's cold.
How much do you think I sold the tickets for? How much do you think I got for the 4 tickets and the parking pass?
I don't know, man. Not face.
No,
you got face. Yeah, you didn't even get face for those. Oof, what, 40 a piece or something? 50 a piece?
I wish.
Oh, wow.
I wish.
Damn, dude.
I think I sold the last 2 for like $20 each.
Jesus.
And then I sold 2 for like 35. And then
we're the new Detroit Lions.
Yeah, no, worse than that. At least they have an indoor. But anyway, let's get into a fucking injury that sucked because this offensive line is doing really fucking well.
Dude, yeah. Like this was the worst time for something like this to happen because, Tyron Smith's, obviously been down. He sucked. At least now, the good thing about having a season where you don't know, it's over, is you get these rookies out there, guys like Corley, which why the fuck is he not playing?
Yeah, dude.
So you get guys like Corley and Fashanu. These guys are getting all these like coveted reps because these guys aren't hitting in practice like they did in days long ago. Everyone's trying to protect their players. The Jets have had injury problems, so like these in-game reps are invaluable, especially at someone like Fashanu's level of development. It's actually a good thing that Smith went down because he's been able to step it up. He kind of started a little bit slow. He's playing out of position, this and that. But now he's been solid. And then immediately, as soon as he starts doing good, gets sidelined with a foot injury. Thank God it's confirmed not an Achilles. But we don't know what the extent of that foot injury is as of this time. As of 1 hour ago, I checked with all the main Jet sources, and there isn't anything on that injury yet. But prayers and all that up to Fashanu. We hope he gets better soon. But now we don't even get to see these rookies play or develop or show anything. And listen, they were doing good. 2.9 seconds. That's like top in the league that Rodgers was getting time before release. 2.9 seconds is a lot. Guys like Goff and Josh Allen and Burrows and all these guys are averaging like 2.3. He had 2.9. He basically had all day to throw. And like the line's been doing its job as of recent, but it's just to no fucking avail.
You know what I just can't understand? This is what I really can't understand about this fucking game. This was a fucking cold game, right?
Yeah.
And the O-line was blocking really well. Actually, even more so on the run blocking. Why the fuck do you only run it 19 times and then once on a scramble from Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rodgers kind of addressed that a little bit, right? And he said, just because it's cold, he's like, we don't have to run the ball. He said if it was snowing or something, it's different. So I don't take too much away from that, especially with the pass blocking they were getting. Like it was just, that fourth down play where he throws the fade to a covered Devontae Adams where Garrett Wilson was wide open in the middle of the field, right? Like if you execute, it doesn't matter how many times you throw the ball because there were guys open and there were things that were there. It just, they didn't execute. So I think that isn't as big of a deal.
44 dropbacks to 19 design runs.
Yeah, that's not okay, man. And and Brees,
we're behind that much throughout the whole game.
Yeah, Brees has not been what he
was not good.
What he needed to do. 3.7 yards per carry, 14 for 52, I believe it was. Just not good. He's not getting it done on the ground. I don't know if it's I don't know what's up with him this year, but listen,
1 week,
Well, one thing I will tell you is this team, no other quarterback has as much autonomy and control and influence over a team as Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers wanted this team to run more, we would run more. So
right, I agree.
So when for him to get up there and be like, oh, well, just because it's cold. No, it's because Aaron Rodgers wanted to throw the fucking ball. That's what it is. That's what it is. He wanted to throw the fucking ball, and that's what it was. And he's been throwing the shit out of the ball. He wants to kind of, I don't know what he wants to do, but we ain't running the ball. We ain't running the ball effectively. And it's not good. And we need more on the ground if this team is ever going to be anything, if Brees is ever going to be anything again. And if we're ever going to be, something in the league with Rodgers on this team, like, Rodgers could tell fucking Ulbrich to give him a foot massage on the sideline, and Ulbrich would fucking do it. So if he wants the team to run, they will run, and he just hasn't led the team in that direction, in my opinion.
It's just they need an offensive coordinator to take control of this offense next year.
And a head coach.
No, and that's why I keep saying you need a guy like Vrabel. You get one of these young offensive coaches that hasn't done it before. And I know we'll talk about this in a few, but like if you bring Rodgers back and you pair him with an inexperienced offensive coach, Rodgers is just going to walk all over him again.
Yeah.
Right? So like you need somebody, if you're bringing Rodgers back, I mean, either way, I think they need Vrabel. But especially if you're bringing Rodgers back, you can't have someone inexperienced. He'll run all over them.
Yep. I completely agree with that. Completely agree. But this game was just, this game really makes you not want to run anything back because, what did I tell you guys, right after, we got off the podcast last time, and I think we mentioned it a little bit, but I wanted to mention it more was that game was versus the fucking Jags, bro. Like the Jags are as dysfunctional as we are. So anything that we could have done that looked okay versus them, it doesn't mean anything. Like any team even the shittiest teams in this league Like no team has less than 3 wins right now, and we only have 4. So, no team that's around as bad as us is going to be without moments of looking good. Every team, like these are all NFL caliber players. These guys, a lot of these guys could and would play on other teams, stuff like that. So if they could, if we have these, types of players, which every team does, you're going to have these kinds of moments where, oh, wow, it looks like they flashed a little something, like they got a little something, but don't mean shit in the long run.
We didn't have a sack.
We didn't, right?
Nope.
That's what I said. I said they didn't. I just said the Rams didn't have a sack all against them all game.
Yeah, we didn't have a sack. How many pressures do you think we got?
I mean, from the look of that game, 0, but I'm sure it was
5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4, but
McDonald obviously led the charge on that one with 2.
Oh, good for him, man.
2 hurries.
I'm glad we got him, because like we have the pieces, but there is just a lot of bad dead weight on this team that needs to go. Like, pretty much any D lineman that's not named Jermaine, Quinnen, Will McDonald. Yeah, they need to go. They, any of these guys, the Tack McKinleys of the world, and those guys, all those types of guys that were brought on, those late round, any post third rounder for the most part, Joe Douglas era guy is going to be
Michael Carter.
Yeah, I mean,
Braylon Allen. Like there are some.
I said for the most part.
Yeah, Eccles, I still kind of like. I mean, that's a tough assignment, no matter what. Just and fucking.
He leads the team with 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
fucking fantastic. Yeah, I mean, listen, Eccles is okay. He's a great 4th best quarterback on your team. Great, elite CB4, but. I don't want him any higher than that.
His coach is the only thing that's been actually the safety help's been really bad because it's been so banged up and they're so interchanging. And I think Tony Adams got hurt at one point.
Tony Adams didn't he get a pick?
Yeah, but he got hurt at one point. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
But there's some great coaching there. I mean, especially if we watch how DJ Reed fucking tackles on the outside. It's really fucking good. But I don't know, it's a lost season. It really is. It's the biggest. I mean, even the Cowboys and Bengals are turning it around. You know what I mean? And they were maybe as big of a disappointment as we were at one point in the season, right?
Yeah. It's dark days, man. It is dark days for this fucking Jets team. Like how you can spend, and spend this much time rebuilding and this much money and this much effort. And end up with this result with a future Hall of Fame quarterback with, Sauce, and you have Garrett Wilson and, Devontae Adams on the same team. Like any other team, that should be enough for you to be, at least getting to a wild card spot. And on this team, it just doesn't have enough. And then Aaron Rodgers, he gets tunnel vision at the end of the game, or second half of this game, where he's just only throwing to Devontae, just totally neglects Garrett Wilson.
And then he starts throwing to Garrett at the end.
Yeah, just to kind of save face, but whatever. It was too little, too late by then.
Even Conklin was actually getting some targets early on too.
He was, which is interesting. Like he's so weird with the tight end usage, but.
Dude, do you know that Tyler Conklin's on pace to be 5th or 6th all-time best most productive Jets tight end?
No, that can't be right.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it wouldn't surprise me. The Jets have been
ass at tight end. Yeah, the Jets are so bad. The Jets are so bad at tight end. Historically, other than Dustin Keller and what's his name before we were even alive, Schuler before we were alive. Name any other decent.
How is that possible, dude? I mean, I'm looking at his stats for the Jets for all time, right? He's got 5 total touchdowns all time. Last year he had none, right? He had about 550 plus 620 plus 370. He had 1,500 yards. lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
How is that fucking possible?
It's
and averaging
it's
like 50 catches a year, basically, a little over 50 catches a year.
Yeah,
that makes no fucking sense.
Because the Jets are terrible at tight end.
Yeah, it's funny. My buddy Matty always says like we should have drafted Bowers over Fashanu.
No, that's not the right movie.
I know. But
he's looking like he's looking like he's got a good argument. You know what I mean? He's looking like he's got a good argument. But
is the all pro tight end this year.
But it's not weapons. It's all coaching. Because like for example, last year Conklin had a career year, and he did it
touchdowns.
with no touchdowns, but he did it by being lined up in the slot a lot. This year, not using him at all in the slot. They're using him relying after yards after catch. He's not a yards after catch guy. It's just like that's kind of, I think that's probably why, like one of the big reasons why it's something different every week is because it's the coaching is as one of the biggest Achilles heels of this team. Obviously there's a bunch of shit like Jeremy Ruckert is awful. And, there's a lot of other things that are dragging this team down, but I think the coaching is probably one of the biggest ones, which is why, penalty.
It has to be the coaching at this point.
If you're this bad in this many ways and it's different every week, that's got to be like game plan, coaching, scheme, that.
I mean, this is like playing NFL Blitz 1997 with the Cowboys or the Broncos, right?
That's a fun game, man.
And it's a great game. I have that game because I have an old N64, and you're playing with like a Pee Wee football team, and playing with a Pee Wee football team, and you have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because there's no excuse. Everything on paper should be like, especially in this game, right? Like think about it, right? Rodgers and Stafford, obviously he'd take Stafford today, right? Mm-hmm. No question, right? Running back room, it's at least the same, at the least, right? You're telling me you're not going to take Brees, fucking Braylon and Davis over fucking Kyron and Corum? You know what I mean? Wide receivers, it's fucking as close as it could possibly fucking be for that wide receiving duo. And both of them, those are like 2 top 5 wide receiving duos in the fucking league, right? They don't have a tight end, like Higbee, right? Was Higbee even fucking playing?
He did. He scored a touchdown.
Yeah, you're right. He did score a touchdown, right? Okay. Higbee's their tight end, right?
I think
it's comparable. Offensive line. The
point is, right?
It's comparable. Actually, ours has been a top unit in the league, right? Then go to the fucking defense, right? This makes no fucking sense.
But no, I think the point is, right, we had said it in the beginning of the season, right? And now it bears it out that coaching is more important than the players you have, right? You can have all the talent in the world and the coaching will coach you to 7 wins, right? Will coach you into the ground. Will lose games for you. And I think that's why this head coach hire is so important, because now we see it. Now we see what it's like to have a good amount of talent without any coaching. And if they don't get this coaching right, the talent really isn't going to matter.
Yeah. It's definitely not like basketball.
You think this could be one of those things where like you got a fucking rock star coach and you can go from that fucking 1996 season to like 97 jump like that?
I mean, I haven't seen that before, but it might, maybe like this.
That was going from like dog shit
coaching.
Coach Parcells.
Yeah, coaching might be the single biggest. Oh God, Kotite. Yeah, it might be the single biggest improvement that the Jets can make in the offseason with the most, the widest impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you look at this offense, I mean, nothing looks, and I think this is also a function of Rodgers, right? Where it's kind of like he does what he thinks is best, but this offense doesn't have any type of dynamic play calling, dynamic play design. The defense just looks almost vanilla. So I think the coaching with talent that they have, I think can make a big difference. Now, going from where they went from Kotite to Parcells, I don't know, because I just think the AFC is a beast.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. You have so many quality teams that it's going to be difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Because sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to read how bad the defense has gotten since Ulbricht's become head coach.
Oh boy.
You know, like how truly awful it's been. The only game that's like redeemable, right, is the fucking Texans game. But every other game after that, man, they're giving up basically 20 points plus a game, no problem, except for this game because it was fucking frigid out and the drive seemed to be going on forever in this game, right? There weren't that many changes of possession, right, in the whole fucking game. Like, even the Vikings, they did a pretty good job holding them down. It was still sub 20, given that there was a pick six in that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bills game, I mean, that was fucking Josh fucking Allen, and they should have won that fucking game, right? But that's like when it started, right? And then you go to Pittsburgh, 37 points, right? Although 6 was like a 1 yard gimme, right? Patriots fucking coming back, right? The way they did. Cardinals, the mauled us, right? Colts, 28 points. Seahawks, 26 points, and they should have won both those fucking games. Pick 6 in that game too, mind you, okay? Dolphins, 32 fucking points. Jags, even still with Mac fucking Jones, 25 fucking points. It's God damn it, Woody. Should have kept fucking Salah. I know.
But I don't know how many games Salah would have won for us. I think maybe we win. I don't know. Maybe we're 7-10 again.
Well, think about all these games and games that,
and I don't know if that matters. That just screws up our pick.
The defense didn't hold it together, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Bills game. You go to 3-3 at that point, right? Pittsburgh, they just lose, right? Defense was bad, right? Okay. Patriots game. You're back to 3-4. You're back to 4-5 at that point, right? Texans, you already won. You're 500. Cardinals defense was atrocious. Let's say you lose that game anyway, 5-6, right? Colts, you win that fucking game, 6-6. Seahawks, you probably win that fucking game. Dolphins, you fucking win that game. Jags, you win that game. Let's say you lose this game. Although defense, maybe it still holds together, right? You see what I'm saying here?
I mean, again, man, it's just, but
But look, it's not that linear, right?
I understand it's not.
That's
everything's hypothetical. I'm talking about, but the defense was the one thing that was fairly constant in that 4-game stretch after the Niners game.
But the defense already looked bad at the beginning of the season while Salah was
the Niners
here.
Game, though. Titans game looked pretty decent, right? Will McDonald
the Titans aren't good.
Mauled them. Broncos, they
aren't good.
10 points, one drive. That was really it. Just one fucking drive. Vikings, Darnold threw how many fucking Darnold looked awful in that fucking game.
The Titans aren't good. The Broncos hadn't emerged yet. So, I mean, like, listen, it's not I do think we win more games with Salah, but is Salah the reason that we are one of the worst teams in the NFL? Him not being here?
No,
I don't think so. I think we're just because the D line was already dismantled. It was already not between losing JJ, losing Jermaine and losing JFM, and Quentin Jefferson a little bit too. I mean, he had he had a few sacks. Between losing all those guys, man, it was definitely a big blow to the D line, and the linchpin of Salah's whole defensive scheme is push up front. You need those 4 guys that can generate pressure with by being rotated in and out and constant pressure up front, and then everyone else can kind of do their job. That's why we've seen the whole defense essentially fall apart, because we're not getting any pressure because Quinnen decided to take the year off and or to be a part-timer, I guess you could call him, for this year. And Kinlaw is useless, and Riddick is useless, and Jermaine is on the couch somewhere, and Will McDonald's the only guy that's stepping up, probably just because he's a rookie trying to show himself. You know what I mean? Everyone else is just kind of like, just kind of in la la land.
This team needs Blue Chew fast.
This team needs Blue Chew, steroids.
This team needs
everything.
Mike Vrabel. That's what this team needs.
Yeah, I hope so. And I'm hearing a lot of like good, positive, energy about that. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that he is open to taking the job. Like multiple different people have said, that have reported that.
Yeah. All right. Now, I guess we'll go to the next little topic, right? And this kind of relates to Aaron Rodgers, right? We basically talked about this, I guess, in the, I don't know, I guess it was in the press conference kind of immediately after the fucking game, right? But basically, Aaron said he'd be open to a pay cut, basically, to come back next year.
He better be open to a damn pay cut. He shouldn't be getting paid what he's getting paid right now. Yeah. With this level of production, I mean, it's only because we can't run the football for shit why he's having to throw the ball all the time, and it's padding his stats in terms of like his touchdowns. He's 7th in the league in passing touchdowns, or he was last time I looked. Maybe he might be like 10th now or something like that. But he's he was around like I looked this up just about a week ago. He was 11th in total yards. He was 15th in air yards, 19th passer rating, 22nd in interceptions, 27th in yards per attempt. He's 29th in completion percentage. So like he's not really having that great of a year. Like he's not anybody who should be demanding any sort of high salary. And I think after the way he's looked this season and the fact that he's been injured the last time he played a full season, which was back when the Packers decided to move away from him. And then he was injured again last season. And then now he's playing injured again. Like he's just 40 years old trying to tough it out. And he's not going to get better. This is not going to get better. He's going to be hurt all the time. He can't tough it out anymore. He's going to be hurt. Every time I see this guy get sacked, I feel like, oh shit, that's the end of this guy. He's done. He gets up so slow. He just looks like it was like the worst hit he's ever taken. And he's not even really getting hit that much. His sack rate is very low right now with the O-line playing how they're playing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Non.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, in that same interview or maybe after it, whenever, he also said a couple of other things like he doesn't know. And this is the second time he said he doesn't know if he's going to be released the day after the season. He even said, he doesn't right now know if he wants to play again. So all these conversations are well and good until we understand, does he even want to do this? Does he want to come back to the Jets? Obviously, he's going to say, yeah, my first choice is the Jets because he's here. But, all this stuff can change if he just says, you know what, I'm done. Or if he says, or if the Jets decide to release him, right? But on the pay cut topic, yes. I mean, he should definitely be taking a pretty big pay cut if there's even going to be conversation of him coming back.
100%.
Really needs a fucking pay cut. I mean, like, what would be the number for you guys to be like, yes, come back? Like $5 to $10 million?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I guess I don't know, what does a pay cut even mean? Like, I don't know. I have no.
Means you agree to take less.
No, I get it. I'm saying I get it. I mean, in context of what he's making now, like how is he talking about? I'm willing to take a pay cut and not ask to be the 10th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Is he going to take a pay cut from what he's making now? Is he going to be willing to say, I'll play for $5 million and some incentives? Right? We don't know what a pay cut really means to him right now.
Okay. Well, let me just give this the context, right? In terms of cash that he's already kind of received for this contract, right? Because that's really the important thing, right? Technically, right now, he's cumulatively received $75.05 million of the 3-year renegotiated deal, which was a 3-year, $112.5 million deal, right? Mm-hmm. So technically, that's already that's already done, right? The cap hits, though, for that money, right, has been really not much. It's only been cumulatively speaking, I'm just doing the math roughly right now, about 17 plus 9. So it's really not been that much. That's why they talk about that dead cap, right, being like $50 million essentially, right? However, if he takes only, let's say, $1 million fucking dollars next year, like a veteran minimum, right? Then like basically it's $50 million, right? That's a difference between cash and cap hit received, essentially, right? If that kind of makes sense. And then you could spread that out pretty fucking far at this point, right? And that's kind of what the idea could be, right? Versus like, hey, if he's on the books again, right, for his full contract value, it's a $23.5 million cap hit for next year. And then we got like 2 years of 21, a 14, and a 7, right? It could greatly reduce that, right? That future outlay. Like it's almost God, I hate to fucking say this, but if he takes a super low cap cash amount next year, right? It kind of saves the fucking cap hit of the future.
As long as we also draft another QB, then I'm okay with that, because then we let Rodgers mentor, and then we let the young QBs battle it out, with the tutelage of a future Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, he can't necessarily physically do it for a whole season anymore, but there's a lot of knowledge there that he can impart. I mean, like, he's clearly a genius when it comes to the quarterback position. He still is. He's still very smart. He's still got his little crafty tricks, but he's just old now. You know what I mean? So you just got to be able to get him for what he's worth, and what he's being paid is more than what he's worth at this point in time, given what we've seen out of him. And then you got to look at what's your alternative, right? So like, if
Jordan Travis, are we going to talk about those guys at all?
Tyrod, Jordan Travis. I was saying outside of the Jets organization, like Fields and Darnold and Jacoby Brissett, Mac Jones, Jameis Winston. These are all guys that, and there's also a big cliff there. It's like Darnold up here, and then it just falls off a cliff, and then everyone else is.
Let's go to all those names you just talked about. Besides Darnold in this year, and I don't think Darnold's leaving Minnesota. There's no fucking way. There's no way they would let that happen, right? Is Tyrod better or worse? Is Tyrod worse than any of those names that you mentioned?
Well, that's my thinking, John. Is like you might just roll with Tyrod.
And Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see any Jordan Travis this year because he's still recovering from the ACL, although he'll be fucking fully healthy by the time next year rolls around, right?
Yeah, if he's good enough, man. I mean, if he's ready enough, and if he's even good. But I don't know, man. I think a veteran coach will want to come back and have something a little bit more in place than Tyrod Taylor. Not that Tyrod Taylor's bad, but Tyrod Taylor, to me, is not a serious starting quarterback in the league. But then again, it depends on how much, because if Aaron will come back and play for, $5-10 million, which is like, backup quarterback money. If you play for that, then okay, then we do it.
It really sucks we didn't get to see any Jordan Travis this year.
I know, but it's just his injury was worse, and I think he had some setbacks or whatever. I don't know. He might never play in a green uniform, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they even said this was just going to be a red shirt. Like there were no plans for him to take any game snaps this year.
No, right? I know that, but I mean, we could have at least seen something out of him, like video of him throwing, video of him like, doing, drilling, working out, whatever. I know there's certain stuff he's not allowed to do by virtue of his status, but, we could have seen something, and we haven't seen shit. We haven't even heard shit.
The guy I like the most in the draft, because you're not going to get Cam or Sanders, right? Cam Ward or Sanders.
No, they're too high. We're not trading.
Yeah, I know. The only guy I really am intrigued by is that Jackson Dart kid.
I mean, what about Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah, I just like Jackson Dart, man. I mean, I forgot where Dylan Gabriel is. What school again? I'm sorry.
Oregon.
Oregon,
right? Yeah. I mean, that team is loaded, right? Yeah, and I guess he was a Heisman candidate, but Jackson Dart's
Yeah.
Ole Miss, you know.
And Dylan Gabriel, I mean, just me being a homer, he's a UCF. He was a UCF guy before he transferred to Oklahoma and then transferred to Oregon.
Yeah, so I guess he's had all these big programs. God, he's been in fucking college football 6 years. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna win the title. All right. So I guess we won't know until we know what the GM is, and we can't talk about the GM because we got no extra news of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about potentials and who's in the running for that. But honestly, I think no matter who it is, like they're gonna assess the situation, and we can assess the situation, put ourselves in their shoes, and do that. And I think we've done that and kind of come up with the idea that there's not really a better veteran. So your only hope is probably to just negotiate Rodgers down as much as possible, because Rodgers, I think, knows if we cut ties with Rodgers, I really don't think there's another team picking him up. I really don't, man. I really do not. Not after this season.
The only thing crazy enough is Vegas, right?
Yeah, I mean, like as a not as a starter, man, it would be it's a little much.
No. All right. So let's go to the next topic, right? This fucking beautiful topic that we have, which is just such a fucking Jets thing. Garrett Wilson.
Kill me, bro. Oh, God.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson, like those kind of rumors are kind of just like coming up. Garrett Wilson may want out after this year.
I will cry. I'll literally cry, bro. This is one that will hit me probably harder than any other player that we could lose, because this kid he checks all the right boxes. He's got, like, we have not recruited a receiver like this in
Keyshawn.
I don't know, since Keyshawn Johnson. Yeah. So that's what, decades ago? That's literally decades ago at this point. So it's
also prime Santonio Holmes that we got too. That was pretty fucking great. He
is way better than Santonio.
I agree, but that's like the next name, right? And Brandon Marshall.
Right,
I mean, Brandon Marshall was
but that wasn't a Jets.
That wasn't a Jet draft pick.
Yeah, that wasn't a Jet draft. So we
haven't
pulled.
It's like Walker and fucking Altoon.
So it's been forever and a day since the Jets have been able to pull talent like this out of the draft at wide receiver. We cannot let this guy go. This guy, because not only is he a talent, he's a good fucking kid. He's got great attitude, great all off the field presence. He mostly says the right things, like 99% of the time. And he's young. So of course, maybe once in a while he might get, emotional, whatever, say something or this or that. But for the most part, by and large, he carries himself well. He's not an embarrassment to the team in any way off the field. He's a stand-up guy. He has a lot of heart. You could tell the kid just wants to win, and he is a winner. He is a winner. Like, he comes from a winning program. He comes from a great team. He has, a great talent, just great attitude. Like, this is the kind of person that you want to build around. This is the kind of person that needs to be on your roster. So you should be doing everything you can to, not necessarily kiss his ass, but like you want to make sure that someone like that is as happy as they can be. And by neglecting them for half a game and then trying to force feed a bunch of bullshit ass throws at the end when you're already definitely going to lose because you suck anyway, like, and not giving him a chance to help contribute to winning games, like, you could just see the defeat, just look of sadness and defeat on this kid's face all the time. And I'm just so worried about at what point, because it's not like, he's getting a big fat ass check from us yet. So it's all about, trying to win. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get an offer, but will he take it? He could go anywhere else and get more money and play on a better team. Like,
I don't know about more money, but you don't think Woody's going to fucking open the bag for that?
He should. He absolutely should, but I don't know
if we're winning,
Yeah, but I think with Garrett, I think the most important thing is going to be the new coaching staff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when they come in, what's their plan for him? What's their plan to win? Right? Because the right coaching staff can turn this around. But if he doesn't feel confident in the new coaching staff, then that's going to lead to bigger problems. And once he demands a trade, it doesn't matter how much money you throw at him, you've lost him, right? And that's that. So, it doesn't matter how much they can
hang on
pay him.
about
It doesn't
that.
matter if they're willing
Debo
to pay
demanded a
him.
trade at one point, didn't he? And he's still a fucking Niner, right?
Yeah, but the Niners are good.
And then also
not right now, but
I know, but they wanted to use him as a fucking running back, remember, and kill him.
Yeah, but dude, but John, how many times? Look at how many receivers have been traded, right? How many have stayed versus how many have been traded? AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, right? So you can go player by player. More often than not, they demand a trade, they're out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, man. It is sad to even be entertaining this because, there was rumbles of it before. We've been hearing it for weeks now, but now it's like apparently like coming from people that are close to him, people that know him, this and that he's kind of teetering there. If I'm Woody, I'm giving him a personal call, this week.
No, Woody can do no good.
Yeah, Woody can do no good.
I don't think so, man. I think he could talk to him and be like, listen, we're bringing on, this guy, or this is probably, I hear some insider information about, the coach we're looking at, whatever, or I got a really good line on this guy, just whatever you could do, man. Listen, Woody may not be good at running a football team, but he still runs businesses and shit. He knows how to sell. I'm pretty sure he knows how to, talk to people on a conversation and sell them on something. I'm pretty sure. He sold Aaron Rodgers. They sold freaking Saleh. They sold Joe Douglas. So, you can sell. I think he can sell. And I think he will sell Garrett Wilson if he gets him, in a discussion.
I know, but
because right now there's no one. Who is there? That's the thing. Who is there to talk to Garrett Wilson and reassure him? No one. There's no Saleh now. Ulbrich, Ulbrich, his days are numbered. We know he's going to be a linebacker coach somewhere next year. He won't even be a D coordinator next year because this has been such a fantastic failure for him this season. So, who's there? Fucking Keith Carter? who? Who the hell is there reassuring Garrett Wilson? That's why I'm saying you need someone, especially someone high up, to reach in and say, hey, look, bro, it's tough right now, but, the GM's gone. GM's going to be replaced. Coach is going to be replaced. Just give it until we get that sorted out. See what you like, then make your decision. That's all he can say, and that's what I would say if I were Woody. I'll call him and at least try to buy that time.
It doesn't it's different a little bit because Garrett will be entering his fourth year next year on a 4-year deal, rookie deal. He's obviously getting the 5th-year option. It's more than obvious. So technically, the Jets have 2 years of control with him.
They have 2 years of control, but come on.
It's not like a contract year. It's a little bit.
But John,
that's not real control. It's like
I know, but he can't just it's not like we're your franchise tag and you could sit out and cause that fucking drama, right? No, you're fucking, you get fined right off the bat.
Yeah, but John, again,
you can still demand a trade and
also,
but it's not as much leverage as let's just say last year of the deal, right? Because it's going to be a 2-year deal left.
Yeah, but dude, you know how many teams will gladly pay that?
Yeah, I know.
Garrett fucking Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, he's fucking stud. He's a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He's about to hit 1,000 yards again.
To me, the control thing doesn't
that doesn't mean
I
anything.
don't know. It doesn't mean much to me. I mean, it does, but it's I don't know. I think ultimately a team is not going to force a player to play when they don't want to play there. You know what I mean? It's just not a good situation.
Nothing's good. This whole season has not been a good situation. It was only a good situation after the fucking Patriots game.
But this one is especially because I feel like he's, if I'm building a franchise, if you tell me to pick, 5 Jets players to reboot the entire franchise with, and I can only keep 5, he's every iteration of that 5, he's in it.
He might be one. He's probably 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I was going to say he'd be my number one choice on this team.
Yeah,
Sauce probably. It's probably still Sauce, dude.
Yeah,
just because it's hard to see what Sauce is doing. Because I said because the safety shit's been fucking bad, but Sauce's tackling's been actually getting a lot better. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Because
He's not gonna be
cornerback.
a Pro Bowler. He maybe still be a Pro Bowler because it's funny how those things work, right? But he's not going to be an All Pro this year.
They're both premium positions, but cornerback has a significantly higher bust rate. So when you hit on a corner that is more,
Yeah, you stick with
it's
it.
a little more. Yeah. So I think it would probably have to be Sauce then Garrett. As far as like if I had to pick, 5 guys, that's probably my 1 and 2.
Yeah, and you're probably still going to chill with Quinnen, right, as the third.
Yeah, he's still too talented.
Quinnen and Quincy. Let's
Yeah.
call it that too, right? And then Fashanu.
Yeah, left tackle. Yep, that's
I
it.
don't know, man. I don't know about Quincy. I would go Tippmann over Quincy.
Yeah, Tippmann's been really good this year.
Tippmann's good,
So
but
but listen, middle linebackers are devalued in the NFL right now, man. If you have your young center, your young left tackle, receiver, stud defensive lineman, shutdown corner, those are premium positions. Middle linebacker is not a premium position. You can slide Sherwood in for him.
Middle linebacker is not a premium position, yes, but guys that perform at that level are not a dime a dozen. You got like Quincy, you got Fred Warner, you got Bobby Wagner, you got, and who else? You got Michael, what's his name? Roquan.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still think you solidify the offensive line before middle linebacker.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's right on that one.
I still like Quincy on that.
Yeah, ABT's. Yeah, that's right. ABT's got 5th-year option coming, so and he's been really good.
I mean, 4/5 of that line is back, so that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, we need that. I mean, honestly, maybe we even take a tackle somewhere in the draft, the right tackle.
Yeah, I could see that to some degree, right? I mean, yeah, Moses has been good though, and that'll probably be cheap, and you're gonna probably have to be more cap conscious next year, right?
Depends on what
I think he likes it here,
He does like it here. He came back, for fuck's sake.
He came back.
He came back. All right, let's go to the next fucking topic. The fucking hailstorm of fucking the Athletic article that came up. Basically just like, man, they do not make Woody look good. And honestly, it's a lot of stuff that we haven't known about it,
Good.
But basically Woody Johnson is just, there's just so many ugly things about the way he conducts himself, not just this year, but in previous years. And the one that really struck home with me actually was the Mike White thing after the Seattle game. For context, if you guys remember Mike White, that season we had Mike White, and he was looking awesome. Then he got fucking demolished in that fucking Bills game. Demolished by a O-line that was getting even more depleted, right? And then he rushed to come back for the Seattle game, right? Because they still kind of had a chance for the playoffs at that time. And he wasn't good. And Woody went to Mike White and fucking told Mike White how much he fucking sucked. Right? And it's just like, man, that dude did everything to try and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hurt a little bit.
I
wonder why Mike White didn't come back.
Well, yeah, I think that's a big one. I think the thing about like his son giving out game balls after the Texans win, like all that kind of stuff, it just makes it look like they're just not a buttoned up ownership group, right? And the article said that, his son Brick gave, like, that was Ulbricht's first win.
First of all, who names their kid fucking Brick?
Yeah. Rodgers was going to give the
his
game
name
ball
is
to
just
Ulbricht.
Brick. What a fucking dumbass name.
Yeah. But back to right. He was going to give the game ball to Ulbricht, and his son came in, took the game ball, and went on like a profanity-laced tirade, and then gave the game ball to Garrett. And people in that locker room were like, it was the most like awkward, cringe-worthy thing. You can't do that. Kid's like 16 years old. Like, you can't have that, happening in an NFL locker room. So I just think, like, these things are just unbuttoned, unprofessional, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's
God,
just
he looks like a douchebag
nepotism.
too. He just looks like such a douchebag, Brick.
I mean, look,
Very punchable face, not quite Justin Bieber-esque hair, but very punchable face. And he will lose that hair at some point.
Giving me strong Zach Wilson vibes, actually.
Yeah. There's a picture out there of fucking Woody's kid with Taylor Swift. I fucking hate it. Ugh. All right. I don't want to talk about fucking Brick. Fuck Brick, dude. I mean, like, yeah, the whole Jerry Judy thing is just one thing, too, with the Madden ratings.
Well, I mean, it was reported. I think it was Costello. Someone came out and said that was taken out of context, that they didn't want to move forward with the trade, but the Madden rating wasn't the reason why. I find that hard to believe, right? I think that you have to take these things with a grain of salt. I think, the locker room stuff with Mike White and with the game ball, that's all 100% legit. I just can't buy that they vetoed a trade on a Madden rating.
So we know that the Athletic,
it's the Jets, though. Anything is possible.
The Athletic makes its bread and butter right now with regard to Jets reporting on hit pieces. We know this. We know Diana Rossini and Zach Rosenblatt do the Jets absolutely zero in terms of favors, and they make all their money off of sensationalist journalism with respect to the Jets. But at the same time, the Jets is just nothing but sensational journalism. They are just such a poorly run, poorly put together, poorly situated organization that this kind of shit is just we make it easy for them. We give them layup. Our organization gives them layup after layup after layup to do these things. So and also another thing too is, yeah, the Jets can deny these things, right? But if they really have sources that are saying this, then they're protected. So like for them to go to print with this, right? Just so you know about how this journalistic integrity shit actually works, which there actually is a little bit left, believe it or not. These guys cannot go to print unless they have these people as sources, because then they could be sued for libel. And if they get sued for libel, now all these sources have to be deposed in court. These people will be brought up. And, the Jets organization knows that this shit is real. They will deny it. But if they really thought it was bullshit, they would sue for libel. If they really thought it was like, whatever. But the reality is there are people saying this about the Jets. Now, whether it's 100%, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But they do have valid sources saying this, that are sources from within the Jets organization that are validated, and they do validate these things from multiple sources typically. So it's not like they're just printing what they feel like printing. They are saying things that do have some level of legitimacy to them. So it's I believe it basically, and just based on that, based on the fact that the Jets are not suing them, for this shit. And they've printed multiple disparaging articles about the Jets. I think they embellish stuff, and I think they do stuff, again, they do no favors to the organization, and they will make us look as bad as they can wherever they can, and as incompetent as they can wherever they can. But I don't think it's necessarily falsehoods. So that being said, it's just a disgusting, situation as a Jets fan to see and know that you're essentially your organization is being led by a fucking child, and being decisions are being influenced by people's opinions of players. I'm sure maybe the Madden thing might have been like a joke or something, but maybe you said it out loud. But they've literally, like, they were mentioning how. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, remember when Woody didn't want to get John Simpson, right? Because
the
awareness wasn't high enough.
Right.
And then, like, that was the funniest thing. I think was it Simpson who posted it? Like, yeah, this is my awareness rating, and Simpson's looking at Pro Bowler as crazy as it fucking sounds.
Yeah, I know. So it's it's like this article again, the Athletic, it shines an ugly mirror up to the Jets organization, and kind of just exposes them for the the poorly run organization that it is. But ultimately, nothing's going to happen because we can't fire the owner. The Jets are way too profitable of an organization. They're one of the top 10 most valuable sports teams in all of North American sports. I think they're top 3 or something, top 5 in the NFL.
Yeah, they're number 6 right now. Yeah,
6. There you go. So,
I think I have the solution to get Woody out of there. Like, basically, you're gonna have to do like a Donald Sterling, Dan Snyder, like repeat / like underage women or some shit like that.
Yeah, but that was all real, right? Like, we can't make something up. Like,
no. You drug Woody.
Oh, you gotta send someone.
You send some like fucking, and like pull like a Jared from Subway with him or some shit like that, and then like, you know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah.
The only way is the only way.
I mean, it pretty much is, because it's like, again, he would have to be completely because really you see what's happening. He's already grooming his sons to be him. Like, he's not giving that team up. He will die with that team in the Johnson family possession. There's zero chance he moves away from the organization, and we will be dealing with owner Brick Johnson in about 20 years or so.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's time for the next topic, right? Basically, we decided as a group, because today is Festivus, which, as some of you may or may not know what that is essentially the fake holiday established in Seinfeld. But basically, we are going to do what's called an airing of the grievances. And I think it's very fitting for essentially what this season has fucking been, right? An airing of the grievances, right? And just for context, I'm going to share a video just for the people at home that do not know what the airing of grievances is.
I find your belief system fascinating.
It's a Festivus miracle.
Welcome, newcomers. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. Comes with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. You, Kroger. My son tells me your company stinks.
Frank, no offense, but this holiday's a little out there.
Yes, the holiday is a little bit out there, but it's very fitting, especially for this team. And I think, Adnan, I'm going to give you the floor, because when I was showing you the clip that I was going to share, you were laughing so fucking hard. Because the show holds up. But
I am a big fan of the airing of the grievances, and I think that, if there was ever a season where we needed to air our grievances, this is that season. And I think the first grievance that I have with the Jets is just how absolutely, and we've said it before, I am just furious how the three of us knew that this coaching would be ridiculous, and they did it. How the three of us knew that Hackett wasn't the guy, that Keith Carter wasn't the guy. We knew this last January, right? And you brought them all back. And that is just unforgivable. And it's what has really led to this disaster of a season, and I will never forgive, Woody for handling things the way that he did. My second airing of the grievance is with what we just talked about. The Athletic and Diana Rossini and Rosa. What are you guys doing? This franchise is already beat to shit. They embarrass themselves anyway every Sunday, and now you have to go in and write these ridiculous pieces. Nobody does this to other teams. The Lions were terrible. The Browns are terrible. The Raiders are terrible. Go write about them. But every 5 minutes you have an article about the Jets, and I wouldn't care so much. And I know that there's been talk that there is, still good interest in this Jet job from GMs and head coaches. But I just worry the more this shit that comes out, the more people are going to say, I kind of changed my mind on that one. So that is really just starting to infuriate me. One, I get it, but to just keep going and going, and I guarantee there'll be another one after the season, and it's just ridiculous to me that you're going to go this hard on a team that's already struggling. Yes, Woody's a moron. I get it, but it's really annoying. So I could keep going, but those are the two things I really wanted to just get off my chest.
Just to combat you, Keith Carter's actually done a pretty good job this year with the offensive line.
I think it's the players more than Keith Carter.
Yeah, I think it's more players, but I guess, I don't know. I think
still, they got a functional offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, after, God knows how long and how many players they had to cycle through. And I don't know. I would just bet it on the players more.
Same.
Okay, fair
because
enough.
we got lucky there because Fashanu came in after Tyron Smith.
Well, also the interior's been fucking stellar. The interior's been really stellar, and Moses when he's in is great. Okay, go ahead, Monty. Air your grievances.
All right. So Jesus, where do I begin? But no, I think my main grievances with the Jets. Number one is actually with the fans for condoning this shit show for way too long. You could not be any other major franchise organization in the NFL and get away with the shit. Like, Packer fans would have been burnt Lambeau Stadium down if the Packers ever dared to perform as badly as the Jets have been for as long as the Jets have been. So I definitely, my main grievance is with the fans for condoning this shit for so long, for continuing to buy merch, for continuing to spend money on fucking food and beverage at the stadium, for continuing to buy tickets at these overly inflated ass bullshit ass prices, for continuing to be season ticket holders, for buying boxes and suites and all that. And every sorry, John.
This one that fucking lights up.
Sorry, John. But hey, listen, this is us included to some degree, but to the fans that really just defend the Jets to no end and always try to look for the silver lining and this and that. Listen, there's being a fan and there's being a fucking moron, idiot, simp. And not saying you're in that category, John, but there's a very significant line between those things, and a lot of Jets fandom is stuck on that moron, idiot, simp line and not on the conscientious fan, because we should have been rioted and burnt this fucking bullshit ass franchise to the ground for this unforgivable ass performance that they've been this unforgivable product that they've been putting on the field year in and year out. That's grievance number one. And then grievance number two is with Woody for, kind of, in the same vein as what Adnan was saying about the coaching. We shouldn't have kept Saleh or Douglas after last season. You know what I mean? I think all those that we should have already started to clean house, and maybe we should have started just with Saleh. I mean, I guess you would have kept Douglas, but you should have gotten Saleh out of there. You don't do that in the middle of the season. You do that at the beginning of the season or the end of the season, and you definitely don't do it when you have someone worse behind them. What is the point of that? Like Ulbrich is, it's very clear that Ulbrich is not as good at defensive scheme, coaching, play design, he running a defense. He's not as good as Saleh. He was able to maintain the house that Saleh built, but Saleh was the architect, engineer, and he could fix shit. Ulbrich, by comparison, is just a handyman contractor. You know what I mean? Like, he could maintain it. He's like a super in an apartment building. Like, that's what Ulbrich was. And then you bring that guy in, you're like, actually, you're going to run the whole entire property management company now. Like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? So now here we are with And then also now he's underhanded too. He's shorthanded because now he's got to do the head coach job and the DC job. Like, what the fuck were you doing, bro? Like, so that right there is another one. Just letting that situation devolve into what it is, and then just knee-jerk reaction everywhere, and just being so fucking awful with that. And then I think my last grievance is just going to be on the players for, kind of giving up. I think it's very clear that, a lot of these players have, kind of quit on the team to some degree. Like, they're also not being done any favors. They're not being put in the right positions. They're not being set up for success. But, you're just seeing it. You're seeing like, they're not like cheering each other on. They're not, jumping around. They're not being enthusiastic. They're not coming out with that fire. They're coming out flat every week. And that's not just all on the coaching. If you come out flat, it's the players coming out flat. Like, the coach can't, be the drive of the players. They can motivate the players to a degree, to an extent, but the players have to find their own fire. They have to dig deep within themselves, and they have to get over this hump. And no one else is going to do that for them. Like, yes, new coaches and all that stuff can do things, but the players have to win that battle internally, and they're not winning that battle. I forgot who it was. One of these talking heads. They were saying that there's not really anyone in the locker room stepping up and being like, enough is enough. This is not acceptable. Blah 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 blah. Like, Devontae Adams tried to do that when he first got there, but he's kind of, it's kind of not the right guy for that because he's kind of an outsider coming in. We need all these guys, Garrett, Quinnen, Quincy, we need all these guys in unison to be, Mosley, what I mean? All these guys in unison to just face the demons, look in the mirror and be like, not today, not anymore, not again, never fucking again. And until you get to that point where you're just like, your whole being is directed against that, you're going to continue to lose. So that's my grievance with the players, is just not owning themselves and their emotions and their part in this enough.
Okay, I'm up. We're not doing a final thoughts because this is basically the same.
This is it.
All right, my airing of grievances. I will start with Woody, right? Because when Hess died, he had the coaching staff already there. Belichick spoke with Woody and was like, I'm out on a napkin. And since then, it's been dog shit. Patriots win 6 Super Bowls, a franchise that was a garbage franchise like the Jets, right? All of a sudden was cream of the crop, blah, 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 right? And all that bullshit, right? Like, it just since you can't justify Woody as being a good owner in any capacity. He's worse than Dolan as the Knicks and Rangers, right? Even though the Rangers god awful right now, holy shit, and they got destroyed today by the Devils. And I watched some of that while I was working. But my God, fuck you, Woody. Fuck you, Woody Johnson. And then I'm also going to air one last grievance, and it's a little bit of a surprise grievance. Joe Namath. If Joe Namath didn't sign a contract with the
Oh my God.
This franchise would not be fucking cursed like it fucking is. I don't care what Adnan fucking says. I will fucking mute him in the fucking meantime.
He'll just
this
unmute
fucking
himself.
franchise has to be fucking cursed. There's no other fucking explanation for this bullshit. All right, you have stars everywhere on this fucking roster and mad fucking talent. You lost Rodgers for a year, and last year you were like, oh my God, it's what if. Then the 2 things you need to fucking improve this year was the fucking quarterback and the fucking offensive line. The offensive line is clearly fixed, and the quarterback is 4-time MVP fucking Aaron Rodgers, first ballot Hall of Famer, top 10 all time. Definitely the best quarterback to ever fucking don a fucking Jet uniform. I don't care. He was better than fucking Favre was, right? Definitely better than fucking Joe Namath. And what the fuck? Again, the worst season of Rodgers ever. He's banged up and all that. The defense, which was
PFF's #1 defense the last 2 fucking years doesn't exist anymore. This franchise is fucking cursed, and it's gotten so fucking bad that I did give up my season tickets, and there's no fucking way I'm fucking re-upping. God fucking damn it. And I still fucking blame motherfucking Woody fucking Johnson with that. That's it. That's it. This show fucking ends with fucking fuck Woody Johnson. Not fuck Joe Namath, but, fuck Woody Johnson by all fucking means, right? Fuck that man, and fuck everyone for not liking, commenting, subscribing, buying our fucking swag. God damn it. Just buy the fucking swag.
Laugh Through the Turbulence swag is now live and ready to make you look as good as Aaron Rodgers throwing a deep ball. Click in the bio to find out where to buy it. Get yours today and rep the green and white in style. And remember, wearing this swag doesn't make you look awesome. Actually, it increases our odds of the Jets winning. Well, maybe not, but, it can't hurt to say that, right? Made probably from the finest child sweatshops from around the world that we do not endorse but still appreciate. Buy our swag today. We're giving you free content. Now it's time to empty your pockets and buy the stuff you don't need. Don't have a job? Well, you've got a kidney, right? Sell it and buy our swag. See the Festivus old lady with a purse? Take her purse and pawn it and use the money to buy our swag. Got some money tucked away for your kid's college fund? Empty the account and buy our swag, because your kid is just going to waste that money on a gender studies major anyway. Buy our fucking swag, dude!